Coach Silverfield.
Aloha. Obviously, our number one concern is the health and safety and the well-being of all of our student athletes, but hope that Hawaii's student athletes and their staff are getting better and that they stay healthy and progress in the right form and fashion. Obviously disappointed that we weren't able to play this game, more so for our players and all those people that worked very hard to make this happen. Our players invested deeply to make this for our seniors that will no longer be Memphis Tigers on the field, but forever in our hearts. It's sad for them. Our players were ready, they prepared, they worked hard. They did everything right. The way they behaved, their actions this week at the bowl game reflected that. So disappointed we weren't able to play the game, but we are bowl champions. And that's the one thing I told them, that it was the most important thing, that we go home with this trophy, and rightfully so. Those players, those seniors earned the right to be called champions because they did everything the right way. With that being said, we understand that there's going to be some questions whether or not we plan on playing another bowl game. At this point, the biggest thing for us is to get our student athletes back home to their families for Christmas and the holidays so they can be around their loved ones. Let me also thank everybody at Hawaii. This great place has been wonderful. The bowl experience, people have been first class. The Sheridan, everybody from the Easy Post Bowl have been absolutely first class and outstanding. So thank you to them for a wonderful week. Obviously, didn't end the way we wanted to, but the biggest thing is make sure everybody's healthy, safe, and well, and getting everybody back to their other families.
Cassie and Jarvis.
Ryan, what was the series of events just from when you found out to when you told the team, and I guess how short of notice did you get?
Yeah, so about 22 and a half hours before kickoff was when we found out, and really, just not too much longer before the media actually found out. So we were actually in team meetings prior to actually going to Ching Stadium for a walkthrough. And so we had the team already gathered, finish up position meetings, and then was able to talk to the team and have the discussions with them. So, obviously communication, our athletic director, Laird Beach, and I have, great communication. And as soon as he found out, he let me know, and I was able to tell our team. Obviously they were disappointed, but like I said, the biggest thing is for everybody's safety and well-being.
What did the Hawaii vote tell you as far as, okay, well, what does this mean? Do you get the money? How do you get the trophy? Can you declare yourself?
Yeah, so we did have discussions immediately following, right after, even discussions through the evening as to what this looks like. So many of the other details as far as money and travel and all that stuff will still be hammered out. Our administration will do a great job having those discussions on our behalf and to make this justifiable. But the bowl game, ESPN, everybody did agree that with the inability for them to play the game, that we'd be named bowl champions. And I think that's fair to our players. They were ready. They had a great game plan ready. They did everything right. And so, look, we want to play the game. We wanted to win the game, but they've earned that right to at least go home with the trophy.
What's the initial feeling you have when you hear the news?
Just like everybody, disappointed. Again, first and foremost, want to make sure everybody's healthy and that we don't put anybody any safety concerns. But frustrated, disappointed. I think about this. It took almost a month of preparation to get to where we are today, and I think about how hard our staff worked. Right, the equipment students that worked their tails off, moving stuff around. All the people that put in these efforts. Right, the efforts of our university. Like I said. I had the opportunity at a banquet the other night to thank Laird Beach and Jeff Crane and our administration for the opportunity for a lot of these coaches to be able to bring their families here and do those things. So it put a lot of effort on a lot of people, and grateful for that. But, just really more than anything, I felt for our players, and I still do, because anybody that was in that room saw tears, saw frustration and sadness because they wanted to play. And more than anything, for those seniors, the one last time to don that Memphis uniform that they wear so proudly.
Yeah, about the seniors. Is there anything you can do or say to kind of help, I guess?
Yeah, and the exact same thing, Cass, that I told them last night and this morning is the only thing I can do is apologize. And I feel terrible. I said, look, guys, I wish there's something I could do. They know that how much we love them. I love them. They'll always be Memphis Tigers, that if they ever need anything in their life, I'm a phone call away, and that the friendships will last a lifetime. And but all I can do is, feel for them and emphasize, with them and be there for them. And there's still some guys that are sad this morning, and this is not goodbye forever, but it's not the way they wanted to end it either.
Is there some silver lining, or is it too soon just because you did get to bring these guys here?
Look, it's been a wonderful week for a lot of our guys. I mentioned in the press conference, a once in a lifetime experience for so many of us. The silver lining is this: maybe they get to go home a few hours earlier. Maybe I'll get to go on the beach and put my toes in the sand for the first time all week. My wife told me right when we land, we're going to St. Jude's in Le Bonheur to be able to go give toys to the kids. So it's a wonderful opportunity, at least to maybe get these guys home quicker to their families.
You kind of let that open. You said the main priority is to get the players back home for Christmas with their families. If this was to happen to another bowl and someone would reach out to Memphis, how would that work? Would you consider?
Well, I think part of it, like I said, the biggest thing is getting back, right? There's so many logistical things. I think it's a little bit different if we were on the mainland, Jarvis, and easier to move things around. But, we talk about the time difference, the travel, the logistics. We have some of the players that have signed waivers that are going to stay here for a few days extra. And so guys go in separate ways. So it's not just as easy as, hey, click a button, let's get on the bus and drive over somewhere. So there's a lot of those things right now. Like I said, we just want to get back to home base and figure things out. But as of right now, we don't plan on playing a bowl game.
That's for you personally. You said the players are disappointed, and rightfully so. You were looking for that 7th win to go with the 500 mark. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, I mean, frankly, I'm not happy. And it's frustrating because, anybody knows the competitive nature of me and our staff and the amount of work we put in. We talk 100+ hour work weeks to get to a point where you can go out and compete at a high level and try to win a football game. And it's not about my record or our team's record. It's about wanting to hoist the trophy the right way. And look, this thing will look beautiful in our beautiful facility. But at the end of the day, you want to play the game. And so, look, we'll be playing more bowl games. We want to compete for championships next year. But I'm frustrated, but I'll get over it. And again, my biggest concern is with our current players.
Evan and then Frank.
Ryan, just out of curiosity, so yesterday when there was a report that came out that Hawaii had 20 players that test positive, how aware of you guys were of that specific report? And did that kind of, creep into your mind that, hey, there's a chance that this thing might not happen?
Well, I go back and you always hope that you have the ability to play, but we've seen things right from last year. These last 2 years, there's been a lot of ups and downs. I'll remind everybody, we played Tulane with around 64 players last year. And so, again, it's up to each team's discretion where they feel they can field the team safely and comfortably. And, there's always outside distractions, right? I look out my window today and there'll be distractions, whether it's, the ocean, the wonderful things that Hawaii has to offer, or, the ability of a team having some COVID issues. So those are just part of it. Evan, I think we're going to continue to see down the line as teams continue to do things. I mean, we had to have, for our scout team offensive line, we had to use 2 defensive linemen because we're down on players as well. The transfer portal is going to continue to create this thing, opt-outs. We're seeing teams that don't necessarily have enough players. Obviously, COVID can have a major issue on it as well. So it's always a concern. I guarantee you next year there's going to be a team that won't be able to field a bowl game with COVID not being an issue just because they have too many transfers.
But this specifically, did that change you guys' preparation at all? Because, I mean, obviously you're still doing the same thing, but in the back of mind, you're knowing, hey, there's a chance Hawaii may not have enough players.
No, it didn't change our preparation one bit.
Okay. And then secondly, you mentioned trying to get back to the mainland. Does that mean you guys, you mentioned to us yesterday, you guys were leaving in the evening. Does that mean you guys are trying to get out a little bit earlier now? Has that been arranged yet?
Yeah, look, we're on a charter flight with obviously a lot of logistics that have to come not only from here, right, getting that many people to travel across Pacific. That's not an easy task. And then obviously to the people of Memphis are helping us out when we land on Christmas. So trying to move things around won't be as easy. We'll maybe get in a couple hours earlier.
Okay. And then last thing from me too, you mentioned obviously the focus is not on playing another game just to get guys home. I mean, logistically, do you just think that it's just, again, with guys wanting to get home, with you guys wanting to get home, is it even a possibility to even think about because of just how much logistically from the travel to Hawaii to there, then the travel to another state and practice and all that? Is this sound like something even logistically you can even think about right now?
Yeah, Evan, I do think it's, I don't ever like to use the word impossible, but I think it's a very hard task to be able to try to get done. Like I said, it would be different had we been in Montgomery and had we known, or if we had known a few days prior. But now, given the date, the timing, the ability to get people, like I said, I mean, we've got some of our players' families are here now, that we're planning on spending a few extra days, which is great. And I want them to enjoy that and some of our players. So, all those things come into mind. And then, how many of our guys, and look, our guys want to play the game, but reality, it's just more about the travel and logistics. I think it's very, very hard to do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Frank and then Terry.
Hey, Ryan, in your 2 years at the helm here, I mean, as a coach, you've been dealing with COVID, both seasons. How do you cope and help your coaching staff and your players cope, with the scariness of it all, the emotional impact of something like this happening? How do you keep your coaching staff and players kind of looking ahead in the midst of all of this?
Yeah, Frank, it's my job is to be the leader. I feel I'm responsible for everybody that traveled with us here. It's my responsibility to stand steadfast. Even when I heard the news, as much as I wanted to yell and be angry, I had to stand in front of our team and tell them the news and be positive and encouraging and be there as a voice of reason. And that's my job. And so, look, we've seen adversity the last 2 years, probably unlike a lot of people have seen, but I think, talking to other head coaches, this has been a quite unusual 2 years in college football and athletics. So for me, I've just got to be the positive mindset, the force that's, hey, guys, we'll get through this and lead them and understand that whatever comes our way, because guess what? We're going to continue to see adversity. And that's life too. And I talk to them. Every lesson that we learn here as a football team and as a program will carry over to life. And if we can be positive and get through this thing and keep a great mindset and our approach, that, we'll be just fine down the road. And so, I look at that. One of those things, it's my job as a head coach is to make sure that we keep chugging along in the right direction. And like I said, people disappointed, sure, but we got to continue to lead the right way, and we will.
I know you said some players signed waivers to stay in Hawaii, after the fact. Once the holiday is over, when do you plan on, I guess, when's your next team meeting that you'll have all these guys together?
Yeah, January 17th. So with school not starting back till the 18th, we'll get them in on January 17th. Obviously we'll be touching base with them. It's not like, hey, see you guys. We talk to them, make sure they're doing okay. Obviously checking on their health and well-being as well. And it's the nature of our coaches to check on their guys like they're their own sons to make sure that they're doing okay. And so we'll be in constant communication with them. And, obviously, but they need a chance to decompress, take a deep breath. It's been a heck of a season. They battled every single game, and obviously the way this ended, frustrations, but we'll gather back as a full team on January 17th.
Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you.
How you doing, Coach?
Good. How are you, Terry?
Yeah, I know. Even though, assuming that this is the last game, what is your schedule for the next several weeks? Because I know you got to hire DC, do exit interview for the guys and they're not coming back. So what is your schedule for the next several weeks? I know since even though you're in Hawaii, you're not on vacation, you guys got to take some vacation. So what's your week for the schedule for the next several weeks?
Yeah. As you guys well know, I've already got film downloaded on my iPad to watch on the way home, like the weirdo that I am. But yeah, no, we're got to figure out who our defense coordinator will be, and I've talked to our staff, met with them already. I actually was fortunate to do the majority of our player exit interviews leading up to this. I think that's important to have those conversations with our guys and let them know. I try to be as truthful and straightforward with our guys and have those good conversations with our current players. Even had them with our outgoing seniors, just, things that we can constantly do, because it makes me a better coach if I can figure out ways to make our program continue to head in the right direction. Take a deep breath. We've got to recruit every single day. As we know, there's no days off in recruiting. So I'll probably head out to the beach here in a few minutes, take some pictures, send to recruits. And, that's an easy sell from there. I'll just tell them that it's my backyard in Memphis. And then look, we'll be back at it. As you guys know, the January 14th opens back up for recruiting. So we'll have some official visits, making sure our guys are in line, putting together a workout plan. So we're constantly upgrading our facilities back at Memphis. So a lot of things, moving parts, but you guys know the train keeps going.
Right, Cassie and Jarvis, anything else?
So, well, final thing to wrap it up, as far as the whole year is concerned, how it's gone, you had the ups and the downs, started hot, had the turnover problems in the middle, got the last win to get here. Like, how would you rate this season?
Yeah, frankly, I'm disappointed with this season. You know, our minimum expectations to go to bowl games. I'm not pleased. We did a lot of great things, right? Go back and talk about the win versus Mississippi State and, you know, beating a ranked SMU opponent and then finishing off, you know, the win versus Tulane to get to here. But, you know, reality, I want to be able to compete for championships every single year. And I've got to do a better job. It's my responsibility as a head coach to put us in better positions to win football games. Sure, injuries, turnovers are all part of it. I do think you look at some of the fruits of our labor, right? We had the highest rated recruiting class in program history last year. And I think we got to see a lot of those guys on the field, right? To play 28 freshmen and redshirt freshmen. I don't think anybody looks at our program and says, man, they don't have anybody in the cupboards, right? I think we got, you know, a lot of guys are going to be growing up and ready to play better football for years to come. And so the future is very bright. I'm excited about it, right? Not only that, the guys, the young men we signed in our signing class, we have some seniors I know will be coming back, which I'm excited about, that they want to continue to pour into this program. They've done so much already. But, you know, all in all, we got to do a better job, and it starts with me. And look, today starts the 2022 football season in my mind. And right when we land, I got to go hard at work to make sure that we're putting ourselves in the right position to have better success next year.
All right, last one for Evan.
Ryan, I recall you told us on media day that, you know, you weren't worried about predictions or anything like that. You said, you know, let's talk about it in January and see where we end up. You just said, obviously, this season was a bit of a disappointment. So I guess if you were to try to sum up how this season went as far as where you need to get better, how would you say where do you think you guys stand right now? And two, how do you see the team needs to get better in 2022?
Yeah, like I said, every part of our program needs to improve, from the head coach down to the janitors. Every part of our program, everything we do can improve, and we got to strive to do that every single day. You know, obviously, if we look at things from a macro standpoint, you know, got to continue to find ways to stay healthy in the turnovers. Those were some of our biggest issues this season. So I'll meet with our strength and conditioning staff, our medical department, and see if there's something we can do. Obviously, we know sometimes that nothing can heal a broken bone, but we're constantly going to be exploring the best ways to put our guys in a position to get through the seasons. And then, you know, I've got to look and make sure that I'm doing things right? Whether it's from a play calling standpoint, from a coaching standpoint, from what we do in the strength and conditioning. All those things are so important as we look ahead. From our personnel, I feel like we do have the right players. As you guys know, the rosters are ever changing. With this year, you're now able to sign up to 32 players. So you talk about that with the additions of different walk-ons. I mean, a lot of these rosters throughout college football are going to be almost completely, you know, halfway new with new faces, and that's the ever-changing part of this sport that we're in. But I'll constantly be exploring ways to continue to improve us, and it starts with me.
Last thing, how do you, with the staff, because you've obviously had this staff now for most of your tenure, when you look at your staff, how are you going to be kind of evaluating them? Because obviously they have been such a big part of your time here with relatively little change the last 2 years.
Yeah, I evaluate the staff just like I do our players. You know, it's no decisions have been made what we're going to do moving forward, but that's just part of it. And I need to constantly look at everything that occurs in our program and see if there's ways we can get better. If there are, then the changes will occur. But you know, that's not on my brain right now. You know, I'll have time to think about that these next few weeks. But constantly evaluating, I think that's how we'll progress in the right direction.
All right, thank you all. Thank you all this season. See you soon.
Happy holidays, guys. Be safe. Thank you.